Welcome to another episode of Is Debatable NFL edition, part two to the episode we just did yesterday. We are back. We still have a lot of football to talk about. And what we're going to start with is going to be the game that took place on Sunday that happened between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. We all seen that the Packers ended up getting a very convincing win. Um, I wanted to ask you, do you think it was just one loss, or is this a big problem that the Detroit Lions are going to have, right? Because you've seen that they changed their offensive coordinator, and now they have a whole nother person, right, running those plays, and nothing seemed to be too effective in the game, right? Their offense seemed very stagnant, just for the most part. Jared Goff just really couldn't get it going too much. Not that prolific offense that we literally seen for the whole last season, just besides their collapse in the playoffs. So, how do you feel about what happened?
You could take it for what it is. More so that they didn't really get it going. I'll take it as just one game for them too. Shout out to the Packers defense though. Definitely looked amazing. That game one. Definitely see why they traded for Mika Parsons. You seen it when he brought the defensive intensity into the game. You see that the Lions really couldn't get nothing going. To your point as well, I look at it as just one game too. More so that you gotta just shrug it off, act like didn't happen. Jared Goff, like you said, didn't really get nothing going too as well. When I'm watching it from that perspective, is more so as he's not going to struggle like he did. I don't think Jared Goff is going to have a game like that again, to where you don't really see him going. The whole offensive didn't really look too good, but that's just a game one. Wolves, you went against a very good team that game one too, so it was really hit or miss too. So that's how I look at it as too as well. But for the most part, I think for this Lions team, even though they have a new offensive coordinator, it's not going to change nothing for them. They pretty much have this chemistry now for at least what 2 or 3 years now, to where everybody's really sure what they want to run, what the type of looks that they want to get. Amon St. Brown knows the type of looks that he want to get. Jared Goff knows the type of looks that he wants to get to as well. Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery coming back from an injury for the most part. Sam Laporta did his thing for the most part too as well. This team knows what they want to do. They just re-signed Jameson Williams too as well too. So they just keeping that core together. So it was just a bad game for them in general. Um, I'm not expecting that to happen for game two. Game two, I expect them to come out way better, come out hitting out all their strides, and just going back to that Detroit offense that we seen from last season, to where they really get explosive and they really put up points in a hurry.
No, yeah, you definitely made a lot of great points. I definitely agree with you on a lot of them. When I was just watching the game, it was just weird. Just last year, they was very, very dominant, just running the ball. They just did not have that same type of success. I guess you can credit the Green Bay defense just for being able just to stop them, literally just for the whole night. But just this Detroit team is just a team you're just going to have to keep your eye on. You have invested a lot of money in all the offensive weapons that you do have. This team has the roster to just win it all, right? So they just cannot continue to wet the bed just like they did in that first game. I'm very eager to see how they bounce back after that week one performance, but I just feel like it was just a real letdown, and momentum is a thing. So I definitely think they have to come out, just like you said, with that same type of intensity we seen last year in week two. Just on terms of the Green Bay side, I also think they can also play even better as well. I think it was the type of game to where you just kind of play down just to the competition, just what was in front of you. I think we could still see Jordan Love play a lot better. Shout out to Josh Jacobs. He did do his thing. Um, I think just the team could just also be a lot better. So I think the game was overall just an okay game. I expect both of these teams just moving forward to put up just some better performances.
So for my question to you is for the Green Bay Packers though, and they have a schedule ahead of them too because they face the Commanders, I believe Thursday night.
Right.
What do you, are we putting them on the pedestal for the next couple of games? Are we taking them as serious threats or one of those teams that's just having a great season though? because I'm looking at it right now. Their next game. Sorry, my fault. Let me just look at it. We got a couple tough games ahead of them with the Commanders on Thursday. The following Sunday, Browns is a bye. Bengals, Steelers. Like I'm looking at it as if I could see where we rank this team and how well they do. Could we talk about potentially having a Jordan Love MVP season?
I definitely think he'll definitely have good numbers when we get towards the end of the season, and I definitely think this team is just gonna go as far as he's going to be able to take them. In terms of the game on Thursday, I think that's gonna be a tough matchup right there. I'm very, very strong on the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. We all seen they kind of had an easy matchup against the Giants. On Sunday is definitely going to be a tougher matchup against Green Bay. I definitely want to see if Jordan Love can be consistent. Week one is just week one, right? We just seen a lot of people who we didn't expect a lot out of have some huge performances. We don't want to invest everything just into one game, but Jordan Love is, I feel, that type of quarterback. I think he has the potential definitely to be a top five, top three quarterback in this league. I just want to see if he progresses. How does he continue to progress throughout the season, and how is he going to be able to perform in the playoffs? If you're going to be one of those type of quarterbacks that we talk about, right? We can even talk about Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback that really made Green Bay, just over like the last the last decade relevant. If you're going to be on that type of level, you're going to have playoff success. This is just week one. We're going to have to see how this team goes moving forward. But I think overall, he's a top 10 quarterback. He's going to put up the numbers. Will he be MVP? I think there's a lot of talented quarterback. We're talking about the Josh Allens of the world, the Lamar Jacksons. We also seen what Justin Herbert did in week one. So there's a lot of names that we could talk about. But Jordan Love is definitely just one of those dudes, though.
Now I was looking at it because I think they have a pretty solid team around him too. When I'm looking at it, that 1-2 punch of him and Jaden Reed could be deadly if they continue just at the rate that they're going at. I think Jaden Reed maybe a little up and coming wide receiver in my opinion too. Really hasn't solidified himself. Shows flashes that he could be one of those ones too as well. Then I'm looking at a guy like Tucker Craft, who also I could say is one of those tight ends that is a very under the radar too, guys. I think this team might go under the radar for the season though, being that the pieces that they have might not be as known in my opinion too. More so their guy that most people would know is Josh Jacobs too, and he had a resurgent season last year, coming from just the Raiders and just all that little catastrophic everything that happened with them over there. For him to come to Green Bay now and to really just solidify himself as a top running back once again within this league though, it's a resurgence too. So I'm looking at it as this team right now can go under the radar though, but I think can hang with any team in the league on any given night.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. They're definitely going to be one of those teams in the mix, but we're just going to have to see what type of form they are in as we get into those final weeks of this NFL season. And it's just very, very early. Shout out to Green Bay. They start off 1-0, Detroit on 1. Once again, I'm eager to see how they both moving forward. The next thing I wanted to get into was just you know, bo- just to get both of our opinions just on the NFL player of the week. I just want to get your opinion on the player who you feel was the standout, and just due to his performance, he led his team to a victory. Or just if you just feel that he just did his thing.
I mean, to me, I'm gonna go with the cliche answer and just say Josh Allen. Just I think what we all saw was just witnessing it, like history. We just all witnessed history live. Seeing somebody that just come back from 15 down, especially late within the third quarter too, didn't really give up much. Really put the team on his back, made sure everybody ate correctly. It was a whole team effort for him, but also just the fact that Josh Allen did not give up. He chose when to run, he chose the right reads at given times though, and made crucial clutch plays when it came down time to it too. So I think Josh Allen set the tone for what this football season is, throwing the most passing yards within week 1, 2, and really just getting into the end zone with 2 touchdowns when he needed to as well. I was very impressed by his performance too. One of those performances that we'll look back years later and be like, oh damn, that was such a great game. That was such a great performance by him. I think one of those career games that you really watch. You know how they have highlights of, oh, this happened 5 years ago. Oh, let's look back at this game one of the season between the Ravens and the Bills. I think he put on one of those type of performers where you cannot deny that he was the MVP of Week 1. Really just showed his capabilities, to show why he was MVP last season, and just picking up right where he left off.
Right, right, right. You know, definitely shout out to Josh Allen. I think there was a lot of people that definitely had some great performances. We could talk about, once again, the Josh Allens of the world. We can even talk about Lamar Jackson. We could talk about Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields. But I think the person who gets it, and I think it's also he gets some extra points because of shock value. I'm going to talk about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was somebody that who was formerly on the New York Giants and was looking like he was going to be out of the league. I'm not sure if it's the culture of the New York Giants or just what it is, but it seems like quarterbacks there, just as of recent, just really post Eli Manning, just really has not been able to do their thing. The minute he leaves there and he comes to the Colts, let it be known that yeah, they played the Dolphins, and they're another story for another day because
Bro,
that's a
their
team.
story for right after this. Their story for right after this, bro.
Because I guess you can say that they just played an inferior team because I'm not sure what's really going on with the Dolphins. I don't know what's going on with Tyreek Hill. I just seen a report come out this morning that just seems troubling. But before we can even talk about that, I just think that he just looked comfortable. He was able to get into the end zone by himself. His arm looked good just throwing it. It was also just very important for him to have this type of performance because he was able to get that starting QB week 1 job over Richardson. So I feel like there was some pressure on him, and I feel like he just handled it perfectly. I think just under pressure, whether it had been third down, second down and long, he was just able to be able to have composure in the pocket, be able to find his open teammates, and he was able to give the Colts a week 1 win. This was a team that I don't think nobody besides the fans of Indianapolis felt there was going to be any high hopes for. And once again, it's just week 1, but Daniel Jones, I feel, really showed that he can play in the NFL Football League.
Yep. Yep. Shout out to Daniel Jones though. And shout out to the Miami Dolphins for being absolutely fucking garbage, man. Because what the fuck was that though? If we have player of the week or MVP of the week, we gotta have trash of the week. You know, feel me? If we're gonna call out good, we gotta call out bad. We gotta have trash of the week. So I'll let you go first. I'll let you pick out who was the most trash player of this week, of week 1.
The most trash player? That's tough to say. Can you go first? Because I would need some time to think. I didn't really. I would have to think on that one.
You know, see, I would go Miami just because how pissed off I was. Not because I had the bet or anything like that, because I feel like they just have too much talent to be shit in the bed like that. But I'm gonna go even more trash. Week 1 trash player of the week, Russell Wilson. Congratulations, you're the most trash player of the week, man. When I look at it, niggas couldn't even put up a touchdown. You have a good receiver and Malik Neighbors couldn't do nothing. Tyrod Tracy in the end zone. They're at the 1 yard line. Give it to Tyrod Tracy. He runs it in. No, the man decides to throw to nobody. We couldn't even put up one touchdown in New York, man. And it's the thing about, the frustration of the Giants fans. Like, it's like, we know you're trash. We give you a chance to show why that, feel me, you could you could revalue your name again in this league. We seen what you did with the Steelers. Then you come out week 1 and then you just absolutely do nothing. And not only that, too, I seen a couple plays with the Giants to where, yo, Jaden Daniels is really right there, sitting, chilling at the 10, I believe. I don't know who it is. I forgot which player it was. He came out like he closed out. The nigga closed out instead of sacking Jaden Daniels when he's at the 10 and throws a touchdown pass. If I could pull this clip up, bro, oh my God, this shit is disgusting, bro. This shit is disgusting. Oh my gosh, bro. Yo, this shit is disgusting, bro. But yeah, that's my trash player to me. Russell Wilson, you gotta do better, bro. You're in New York, man, and trust me, you will hear it. This is not just the Seahawks. This is not the Steelers. This is not the Broncos. This is New York, man. They will let you hear it. And it's going to get to a point that if you keep playing like trash, bro, you're going to have to start Jackson Darts. You're going to lose your starting spot, bro. Nobody has time for that, man. If you're going to lose, at least lose to a rookie quarterback that, feel me, can at least get some type of experience, though. Why are we losing with a fucking 12-year vet? And you know what I'm saying too? And then you see the frustration on a guy like Malik Neighbors' face already. You see they already start arguing on him and the coach. So it's like it's not a good look. All right. And it's not even gonna get good too, because now you're gonna face Dallas. Like the schedule is not gonna be any type of easier. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I would say, I think we can say a lot of different teams or players just for disappointments, right? We could talk about the Drake Mays of the world, just with the New England Patriots, who just look like absolute garbage. We can talk about how the Cincinnati Bengals really almost just lost to the Cleveland Browns and was only able to put up 17 points with that type of offense that they have. But I want to talk about Caleb Williams. And yes, Caleb Williams started off the game last night with a touchdown drive, right? Able to get a touchdown on his own. But I feel like he just based off the hype he had coming into the NFL, I feel like just based off what we have seen, I'm not talking about what he's projected to be because he can go into his fourth season and then just turn into the best player that we ever seen. But based off what I've seen so far, I just have not been impressed. I seen the game last night where they should have won that game. The Vi-
Literally.
the Vikings was out of it, right? We had JJ McCarthy to where his first touchdown was to the other team, right? The Bears was in position to win that game, and yes, they do have a new head coach, so a lot of people are gonna give them a pass. But I feel like they was in position to win that game, and they just let it slip right out their hands. In that fourth quarter, I was not impressed with what I seen with Caleb Williams. I just wasn't. He just wasn't able to find his open receivers. He wasn't able to really get out the pocket and do it by himself. And I think that led to the Bears loss. This is a Bears team that, ever since after the first 5 to 6 game of last season, they've just been terrible. Now you have this new coach here. This is another new coach that Caleb Williams is gonna have to play under now. I believe this is the third coach he's gonna have to play under, and this is just not good for his growth. So I won't say he played like complete garbage, but it was just a letdown to see. I feel there was a lot of hype for him, and I feel like the table was set for him to have one of those breakout performances and show he developed from that first season, and it was just sort of a letdown for me.
Yeah, it was a no show completely too. Especially then what you watched out at JJ McCarthy's end too. I was very surprised too for somebody that had like a shaky first half, and to see the way that he put a stellar performance in the second half too. Um, I say, feel me, I almost lost faith in the kids. And crazy to say he's only game one though, but I feel like when you have an elite quarterback like Justin Jefferson, he's supposed to get targeted every trip though. So then at points in time when you're watching the game, it's like, oh, they should have kept Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? Or like, feel me? Oh, did they really have to get rid of Kirk Cousins? Like, people say stuff like that, but I think it's a work in progress. When I was watching the game last night, I think JJ McCarthy definitely has, that it factor, that little will to win too, because you don't run and get in that end zone like that for no reason. Like, feel me? I seen that look on him. That kid is gonna be all right. He's gonna do all right for himself, though. I definitely want to see how he gradually gets better throughout the season. Definitely get more comfortable. I feel like this game was just to shake the nerves off, though. But for your point, as a Caleb Williams guy that's going into year two, well, we expected to see something else, man. We expected him to come out, look more poised, look like a vet already, and it's hard though for to be a quarterback in this NFL, especially young dude, because all your projected mistakes is going to be like you had all this hype coming out for college, like, feel me? You was the man in college, you was projected to do all this and that, and now you get to the big leagues. It's like they expect you to do that. So anything that's less than that is more so of a letdown too. So for Caleb Williams, it's more so just going back to the drawing board, just seeing what went wrong in week one, taking that, and then hopefully And then I think they have a tough game two. I forgot what the schedule is for game two. Let me tell you right now. Oh, it doesn't get no better. You play the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so that game right there is going to be no easier than this Vikings team. Just to your point on the Vikings, and shout out to JJ McCarthy. Within that first half, really for the first 3 quarters, he looked like complete garbage. If we're gonna be completely honest, and I feel like he was a rookie, just kind of just being thrown into the fire. We don't really see these first year QBs just go out to these crazy starts, right? Once again, we seen it last year with Jaden Daniels, what he was able to do with the Commanders, but we don't really see these first year QBs have a lot of success. So that's why I do think it's better, sort of like a Shador Sanders situation, to where you can be behind the Joe Flacco and definitely learn the game, learn to be a player, and really just learn how to be a professional. So I feel like JJ McCarthy just really came into that fourth quarter and just said, you know what, I'm playing, I'm playing in the place to where I learned how to play football. Just playing back in Chicago, I really felt like there was really him just playing just with a clear mind, and his teammates just never lost faith in him. He never lost faith in his teammates, and he was just able just to get more and more comfortable just as that game went on. I definitely think this kind of just established him just within that trust with his teammates, right? Because I
Yeah,
feel I definitely seen Justin Jefferson was frustrated just really in that first half, and I feel like they just weren't really connecting. And then he was just, because I feel after that pick six and it goes for 74 yards and a touchdown, that can be really deflating to a player, and that can really be detrimental just for your psyche. And he was able just to go into the locker room. The coach said that he spoke to him and he had faith in him, and he was able to get it done. So shout out to JJ McCarthy, shout out to the Vikings. And I think, just that young nucleus that they can build off of with him at the QB, and Stephon, Justin Jefferson at the wide receiver position. I think it'll be a great future just for the Vikings for years to come.
I definitely think so too. Especially when I think you gotta wait for the return of Jordan Addison too as well. Definitely another in the mix too. I think with the running back situation, they have a kind of a good running back situation when you have the mixture of Aaron Jones and you have Jordan Mason, who they acquired from the 49ers too. You look at the TJ Hawkinsons of the world too. They have a good offense. I'm gonna say that about the Vikings. They have a good offense, especially now adding Jordan Mason. No, I think with them is more so just the building chemistry too. I think JJ McCarthy was the right move for them too, rather than paying Sam Darnold too. Because if I'm watching this now, and I think you can only get better as the season goes along too. You know what I'm saying too. So you see the frustration on Justin Jefferson's face. You see how he knows what he's capable of. He knows how he could just explode for 100 receiving yards at any given night. He knows how he could go for 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, whatever you need from Justin Jefferson. He knows that he's the elite of the elites in wide receivers. I think it's just more so just him just keep building that foundation with the JJ McCarthy and just letting him know that here's my spots. I'm always gonna be here. Feel me? You got to realize that I'm one of the ones too. So it's gonna take time, but it definitely was a good win for them too after the shaky start they had in the first half too. It definitely gives them hope. It definitely fuels this team now. Just like, all right, JJ, we trust you. Like, feel me? Just keep working, man. Like, feel me? You gonna make these mistakes. Feel me? Relatively, you're still a rookie, so you're still gonna make these mistakes. But as the season gradually goes along, you're only gonna get better too. So shout out to JJ McCarthy. And if I do must say, I should have started him over Jared Goff in my fantasy. JJ McCarthy had 20 fantasy points. JJ McCarthy, you might be my starting quarterback as the season goes along, bro. I don't give
Yeah,
a fuck.
but let's see if how he also plays in week 2, week 3, week 4. It was definitely week 1. I think he definitely just got the jitters off of him just off that first game. But as he continues just to go up against just tougher and tougher competition, I want to see just how he responds to that.
Facts.
But that's gonna do it. Really for this episode of well, the part two of the NFL Week One recap. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please, once you see this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on social media platforms at it's debatable double underscore for developments on the platform. Follow me at Justin Jones for more details. We out.